Hey, hello, hello. I'm just checking the clock to make sure that I stay on time. And also, I'm gonna drop a little something, something in one of the chats. Let's see. Um, so, um, Today we're gonna be talking about Brujería, but we're also gonna be um going over like protection spells and things like that. Basic everyday tools that you can use um day to day to help you folks out, especially as we move towards this full moon with all of these eclipses and the portals and the things like that. And you can also let me know what sort of protection practices that you do already. And I can let you know if it's actually going to be beneficial for you. Um, Also, following your intuition is also a good place to start. But if anybody is new here or just tuning in, there is a calendar that you can actually access. I'm going to be putting it into all of the YouTube descriptions so you can find it under every single video. It's not there right now, but I'm going to update it. I have put all of the live schedule, all of the classes, any sort of events that I'm going to do on that calendar. I'm also going to share a calendar with folks in Z School for the Gifted. If you have started doing any sort of deity work and stuff like that, I'm going to be putting in the days of different deities so you can get in the habit of working with your altars and ancestors and things like that. I love calendars. They keep me organized. I like 8 of them. So I'm going to be doing that, but I just felt really called to talk about protection. A lot of people think that protection is extremely external. And while that is true, it begins with the internal. It begins how you see yourself, what you believe you can do, what you believe is going to touch you, and then it mixes in with your spirituality, and then it becomes extremely external. And sometimes you might come across a spiritual teacher who talks about um their guides and their protection is quite strong and all those things. And usually that's the case. Very similar to me. That is the case because I've done a lot of inner work and I am extremely devoted to not just spirit, but I'm also devoted to my ancestors and any of the deities, gods, or goddesses that come into my life who are here to help me. And then they add on a layer of protection, but it comes with um how willing you are how willing you are to actually work with them and do the work, because in order to get the external protection from the deities and your ancestors and things like that, you have to like have a frequency that is quite high in order to communicate with them in the first place, which again begins with who you are. So the basics of protection work begins with your mental health, right? Because if you are the type of person who goes through life every single day, um maybe speaking really negatively about yourself, negatively about people around you, negatively about things you see in the world, or you have a very pessimistic view on life, you're going to have the weakest protection of all. You're going to have the weakest protection of all, because that type of energy where it's not in a state of gratitude, which like protection isn't about toxic positivity. Like you need to be able to process things, but if you are in the habit of being in victimhood and not living an empowered life, you are going to magnetize all sorts of low frequency energy to you. And protection is a very high energy in the spiritual space. I like to tell people when I start coaching with them is the higher you elevate, the less people can touch you. Like that's literally how it works. Be more ascended, be more light in energy, be bright in energy, and it's like you just become this like beacon of protection. And then people want to come towards you because they feel the protection. Low frequencies want to come towards you, and then they just kind of get zapped down. It's very much so like that. You basically become a lightsaber, but ginormous size. Um, So really be honest with yourself about how often you are in a positive mood and how often you are expressing gratitude for the life that you have and how often you are practicing love and compassion to those around you, right? Because all of that is going to contribute to your good karma. It's also going to contribute to your happiness, which is going to keep you more protected. And also be really unbiased about if you feel day to day that you are a victim in most of your situations. Some people who are so far into victimhood, they can't even see that they're acting like the victim. And I know that's very challenging. But pay attention to how you talk to yourself if you're constantly saying that things are happening to you and you never coming to a solution or wanting to take action on your life to change it. That's you just living in victimhood. And then pay attention to the people around you who also speak that way. It could be, your family, your friends, places that you work, things you are reading in the news that kind of also condition you to be quite helpless and reliant on a system that doesn't actually care about you. It kind of seeps in everywhere. And once you're able to heal those parts of yourself, you can also heal like your worthiness and things like that. When you start to do that, you become naturally extremely empowered, which means your energy is more massive because you believe in your ability to protect yourself. You believe in happiness, joy, and bliss, and that you deserve those things and you deserve like a stable life that has a really strong foundation. And that's how you start to build your inner protection, because again, your inner protection is going to get reflected outside of you, but it starts with you. And so someone who was amazing on my journey, it was such a divine timing thing because we were talking about jewelry and all this protection and stuff like that. And like, while that is important, depending on how deep into your spiritual practice you are and what your beliefs are, um, you don't need as much as you think on the outside of your body all of the time if you are doing your spiritual work. And he had said, um, he was like, at the time, I was like very early in my spiritual journey, and I was like covered in things, like covered in stuff because I just wanted to hold all the things all over my body and all the crystals and all this stuff. And I was like, bury me in crystals. And he just looks at me and he was like, you're already protected, right? Why are you wearing all those nonsense things? And I started laughing also because they were African and I was in an African store and I felt like it was a very African way of speaking, which I needed to hear at the time. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're putting your like you're betting 10,000% on this crystal that is supposed to protect you instead of you knowing that you can protect yourself and that you are protected. And that was his whole point. And then that day I like looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, all right, like this begins now. Um so pay attention to those things, because it's always going to start with yourself. And we do go over this in More Than Worthy and doing the generational healing. It's very similar to other things in your life, like if you're not able to magnetize love, or if you're not able to magnetize money and all that kind of stuff, you have an energy within you that you believe you can't do it. You'll never receive it, and that's why it's not there. um, and so it's very much so the same for protection, because again, it's an energy. So making sure that you stay on top of your meditation practices, your prayers that keep you balanced. If you have like an aura or auric cleansing ritual for yourself, I highly recommend doing it. Bodies of water have been used since like the dawn of time, to help with that. And salt water is just phenomenal. Even if you don't have a bath and maybe you have a shower, even if or you don't have a shower, even like if you can get some sort of water with some salt, try and put it on your body and rinse it off, or use a cloth or something. Do your head, do your throat, the back of your neck, because that's also a portal, and you can do your lower chakras, the front and the back. And then you can wash your feet last. But you always start with your head. So doing that kind of stuff will also cleanse away your aura, and or not cleanse away your aura, but cleanse away things stuck in your aura, um, and keep you really balanced. And then after that, you can do your dome of protection, which I teach in Z School for the gifted, or whatever you have for a shielding practice. But you always want to follow up with something. And salt is just really, really powerful. And anytime I'm doing a cleansing, I always use salt. Many practitioners use salt. Salt, again, is very ancient, it's very cleansing. It's very similar to selenite, which selenite is, a crystal that can cleanse and charge other crystals because of its nature. It's very similar to salt in that way, but it's also a crystal you don't want to put into water. Don't put it into water; it will dissolve just like salt. Um, so if you have one of those, you can also do, some of your cleansing with that as well. But again, reminder, starting with the inside. And something to keep in mind too, in terms of your external environment, is making sure that you have a really clean space. You'd be surprised how many times I work with people or see their spaces, and it's just a hot mess. And I know that sometimes people go through these depressive states, which I've seen. It's happened to me, and sometimes it's really hard to get out of bed and all that stuff, right? But um you have to stay on top of your cleaning regularly. I am constantly cleaning my space every single day. There's not a day that that goes by that my space is not being cleaned, that things are not being folded. I clean up my desk every day. I have a lot of Buddhist practices as well, so I clean my shoes. That's something that you can also do to stay very protected, to not bring any negative energy. And it's also great for money practices. Hi, Jamila. Don't put your selenite or salt land by water. Yeah, don't do it. It'll slowly disappear. It'll slowly disappear. Afternoon. Are you coming tonight to class? I haven't looked at the thing yet. So I don't know if you're signed up or not. And for anybody else who's just tuning in, tonight for Z School for the Gifted, we're going over claircognizance and also doing moon work. Don't ask how I know. Oh, now I want to know, so you can just tell me. I signed up. Yay! I'm excited to see you. I love seeing all of you. And it's a great time to set our intentions before the full moon and continue to work on clairs and things like this. Hone in. Um, and feel free, whoever's tuning in, Looky Loose, feel free to write in the chat what your current protection practices are. You're welcome to share. But what I was saying is, really cleaning your shoes, especially on a day like today where it's Jupiter day, it's money day. Clear your path. Don't let stuff just sit on your shoes. Like if you walk in dirty shoes, you walk a dirty path, is basically the saying. And sweep, like sweep from the back of your house to the front of your house. And you can even do floor washes, which is very common in brujeria or santeria or hoodoo and voodoo. Using certain mixes, cleaning your counters with lemon. Like, you can infuse little protection practices also into your day-to-day rituals or things that you buy. Like, sometimes, I was tight on money and I was tight on time. And so I would get the things that I would usually use natural stuff for, but I didn't always have the energy. And so I would get a spray that had like lemon in it. Like, I was like, I'm just gonna get as close as I can to these practices so then I wouldn't have to think about it all the time, and place things around my house so that it would trigger me also as someone who has a lovely ADHD brain. If I can see it, I'll do it. If I can see it, I do it. That's why I love calendars. Um, I had a salt candle holder by my bathtub. Oh goodness. And it had been there for so long, I forgot it was salt. Washed it right away. That's so funny. Yeah, I feel like sometimes people don't don't realize that. Um, but like I remember we had gotten these like what are they, selenite bracelets as a gift from one of my old teachers. And we were in the jungle and it was always raining and, sunny and going back and forth. And I knew I was like, no, I'm not going to wear my bracelet. It's going to like literally melt away. And like people were just wearing their bracelets out. And she was like, I want to do that. If I were you, it's going to melt away by the time, you've traveled all the way through the jungle and all that stuff. But it was quite funny to to figure that out. I think because people think it's just a crystal that it's not gonna change, but it totally changes. You have to watch out for it. They are made of nature. Hi, Emerald. How was your night? I went to the Blackberry Botanica today and got a tiger's eye bracelet to replace a broken one, and thought it was really nice that she cleansed it with Florida water and handed it to me in a white napkin. Yeah, I um I love going to botanicas that understand energy. Most of the time they will do that, or they'll at least the ones that I go to, some of like the bigger, like, appropriated ones don't really do that. So you always have to cleanse your energy, but, um, I usually shop at, like, Latin ones or Black owned ones, and even, spiritual stores that are Asian owned, they have a different usually have different practices for cleansing or protecting things and all sorts of stuff, like very particular, which I love, but I also feel like we're closer to understanding energy exchange, and so you can always tell depending on the place whether or not they're there to just sell you a crystal or they're actually there selling and they know like how important it is that you're going to be carrying a piece of crystal that has their energy on it and they want to clear it for you. um yeah. Hey, my night was awesome. Got rest finally. How was your day? Yay, you got rest. How do you feel? Do you feel nice and nourished? I got rest too, and I feel amazing today. um I did a little bit of breathing as well after my ocean swim because I had a feeling it was going to come up. And like, I was like, I'm going to go to the beach today and I'm just going to cleanse away whatever needs to come out. And I feel like it's going to hit me. And so I was like timing it today. Um, and I did my cleanse and I walked and then I got back and I had my because I journal and do journal prompts every single day and all sorts of stuff. And so I love getting to the meat of things, and I was getting to the meat of it, and I knew that it was gonna happen because I was looking at my questions, and I was like, "Man, oh man, oh man." And then it hit, and I was like, "Ah." I was like, "Okay, like, we are on time for healing." And then laid down, and, I took a nap because I was like, "I'm gonna process this and, like, rest and do all these things and not force anything," and yeah, it was really great. Thanks for asking. I feel really good and bright today, like very bright and awake. The store was really intentional. I've never had an appropriated store do that. Yeah. They also asked you didn't touch certain things or use a basket for the energy. Very nice space. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, most like there's a good amount of appropriated stores is what I like to call them. Um, and it's they're mostly people who are very disconnected from their culture, you know what I mean? Um, and yeah, you just always know there was one store I really loved when I was, like where was I? I think I was in Los Angeles, or was I in Miami? One of those. Um, and they would bless all of their stuff too, but they used, like, oils and things, and they would put them in all these bags and whatnot so that it could be prepared for when you took it out, and I loved it so much. And, in a lot of, botanicas or, like, Orisha type stores or Santeria stores, um, Like, you can't take pictures, you can't do, like, certain things in there, like, they you can always tell because they treasure the space, and it's a responsibility, like, having, a store like that or a house, you would say, in voodoo, it's a sacred land thing, and a lot of stores are not usually like that, I feel like, in the US, so I'm glad that you found one. I feel like you gotta, like, use your intuition to kind of sniff them out or be, like, guided to one, but when you find a good one, it's definitely worth it. They're just more mindful, even if they give you the option, like, sometimes if I was in a rush, like, they knew that I didn't have time to stay for them to, like, do all the things, and then they're like, "Are you in a rush?" I was like, "Yeah, I can cleanse it myself." It was just like, oh, and they're just kinda laughing. Um, they can even talk about it. I woke up this morning, meditated, and I got a download to fast intentionally for a few days to detox the trauma body from healing and happiness. Are you doing a water cleanse, like a water fast? Let me know if you need any help. I love talking about fasting. I was actually thinking about doing a fasting life. Um, do tell, do tell, do tell. Fasting is a very powerful tool. Oh, are you coming tonight? I can't remember what you said. Took me a while to finally make it there, but it was nice. There's an old magic store where the Asian owner would dress my candles very far in few of these places. Yeah, I love Asian stores, to be honest. I love them so much. Also part of my lineage, but I always gravitate towards them. Like, I love them so much. They just are so they have really good energy for luck and things like that. Like, they're very good at, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like this energy. There was one I went to before I left, and I kept hearing this name, and then I just randomly walked down the street and walked into the store, and it was that person's name, and then I talked to him for a long time, and they just were like this, like, golden ball of lucky energy, and I was like, "Oh, I need this," and they're like, "You need it in gold," and I was like, "Yep, I only wear gold." Like, of course, gold is so lucky. Um, and today's money day, so make sure that you're doing your money practices and for protection and things like that for your money. One of your best protection practices for your money is to always know about your money. A lot of people think it's the opposite. Like, they think, "Oh, I'm going to protect my finances and grow my finances if I just don't look at them or, like, I don't touch it." And that's the opposite because money's an energy. You can pray over your finances. That's fine too. You can make petitions, light candles, but again, your frequency is what's going to help it the most. But Thursdays are a great day to do anything financial. And also Wednesdays, if you work with like Ogun, who also can help with money. Wednesdays and Thursdays are good. Ogun is a very powerful Orisha. I love Ogun. And I was wondering when I was gonna run into an Ogun store. Like, I've run into an Obatala one, Shango, Oshun, and then I was like, I feel like Ogun's like coming somewhere. And then, I came to my new town and there's an Ogun. It's like, yes, nailed it. Nailed it. But yeah, let me know, what are your current protection practices that you do? Doesn't have to be this damn headphone. Doesn't have to be related to your finances, but, like, are you regularly protecting your space and yourself and all sorts of stuff? And you can charm jewelry. I love doing that all the time, turning my jewelry into protection charms. Um, I know we talked about tattoos on the live before last, which are also great ways to protect your energy and, like, invoke, um, like, ancestors or gods and goddesses and that kind of stuff. And even where you place them on your body, depending on the flow of energy, will also help. Same with your jewelry. Same with your jewelry. Um, Hairstyles can also be extremely protective for your energy. How much you cleanse your hair can also be very protective. I know as, like, someone who is mixed, but very much so Black, like getting used to hair practices that fit my style, and my hair was not something that I always wanted to do. But now I'm used to it because it works so well that I'm like, I don't really care what happens. Like I'm just gonna get into that salt as much as I can. As much as I can. Um Now I live near a lot of salt water. And so when I get in, my head's so itchy, but I love it so much. Why is this open? Let me close this. Um That's so funny. Um, I think I had the times different. I totally went live way earlier than I was planning to. For anybody who's following the calendar, I was like, "Why do I have a calendar sound thing?" Like, "Oh, because 'cause I'm early. I'm early. That's what happened." Um, y'all let me know what your protection practices are. Let me know what they are. Um, Also protecting your house is yeah. Yeah. I just realized that I was super early. Like I thought I was behind. I don't know why I thought I was behind. I've also been extremely productive today. It's been kind of weird. Like I've been like doing all these things, getting stuff done, like checking off my list. After I took a nap, I also realized I was slightly dehydrated. Slightly dehydrated. So I had a good amount of salt water today, and then I had a little bit too much salt water and it hurt my stomach, but I still felt hydrated. But yeah, I was early. Like I don't know. My energy, like after that cleansing and the crying and all that stuff, I'm like, let's get back to fun. But cleansing your house and protecting your house is really important. If you have a hoodoo practice, I highly recommend getting authentic railroad nails. Otherwise, you can find railroad nails and then burn them in fire to cleanse them in like some sort of cauldron or something that's fireproof or fire pit. Leave them for a long time until they get very hot, cool them. You can put them into water. Also, if you want to, blessed water, and you put them as an X in certain directions of your house. That works a lot. It's very, very strong. And then you can do a visualization. I usually do that at most houses that I live at if I own them, because as a practitioner that calls on a lot of energy and is constantly conjuring, I'm like a magnet for spirits and portals and will create my own portal where I stay because of the magic that I use every day. So that keeps a lot of things at bay, and it also makes it hard for people to find your energy. Like if anybody were to try and scry for you or see what you're up to, they wouldn't be able to see it if you use a double cross like that. Rosemary infused water for my fast. I love that. I'm working double shifts for a few weeks to get ready to move, but I'm running back to class after I get settled. Okay, okay, I remember. Okay, you're moving. Yay, you're moving. I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. I feel like all these changes happen very quickly for you. Um, so yeah, whenever you're ready, you come. We're all gonna give you lots of hugs, air hugs in the meantime. Um, Rosemary water fast. I like that. Yeah, when you're coming off your fast, just make sure you do it slow. Like give yourself a week to a week and a half to like really get back into doing food. How many days are you doing your fast for? Easy, love the shirt. Thank you. Oh my goodness. It's a dress. Isn't it fun? Boop, 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 boop. It's like this late, yay long. It's one of my favorites. I call it my artsy fartsy run New York dress kind of thing. Like if I were to go be running around in feels like I need to go to the gallery type of dress. That's what I call it. I meant to clean my fridge at 5. Yeah, cleaning your fridge is great. Clean it all the time. Clean behind your fridge. that's also a place that people forget and is also good for luck. Smileys. I've been saging a la Palo Santo, magnesium salt bath. I love that. And I'm prayed up, no longer playing about my relationship with God and best protection. I love that. Yeah, pray Psalm 91 right now. Pray Psalm 91. Keep you more protected. If anybody ever feels like they need protection, whip out that Psalm 91. Whip out Psalm 91, whip out your prayer to Archangel Michael. If you keep a rosary, you can pray your rosary as well. I like it. So your vibes. Thanks. Yeah, I love it. And it's made of linen, so it keeps me nice and cool here. Today I actually have the AC running because I realized that I was just really hot. I was like, why do I feel like I can't get anything done? But I was trying to like, I don't like to waste electricity. But I was like, I kind of need to make money in order to pay the bills. So you need AC to stay awake and not feel sick. Oh, there we go. Um, oh, I love that dress. You look so bright and pretty. Energy is so radiant. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm telling you, yesterday's swim was very like it was very healing. And I also connected with a friend of mine here whose name is literally Sunshine. It made me so happy. Um, and I just decided to go slow. Like someone commented that my routine in the rising was long, but I was like, I mean, I'm fine. You can like have your routine be short, but I'm also severely productive when I'm rested. Like I'll like literally be early to things. That's why I end up going slower because I work fast. Um, but that swim just got out so much. Like it reminds me of when so I train dogs, and a lot of people don't realize when their dogs have too much energy, they're just like, "Oh, my dog is really excited," or "Oh, my dog is blah blah blah." But you can like touch their skin and see how much energy they have in their body. And that's what I was feeling like. Like I was feeling like I looked like what's her name's doll from Rugrats? It was Angelica's doll. What is it? The hair is like all sticking out. That's how I felt. Like I felt like I was filled with so much energy and I just like didn't know what to do with it and running wasn't helping. And being in the water and like facing that fear, like I was far in the fucking ocean. I was like not like if you were to look at me, you probably wouldn't have been able to see me from far away. Like I was out really far by the boats and I all I had was like this buoy thing attached to me that had our keys and stuff in it. And there was like a, a fear inside me that was like, okay, well, if this pops, like I was like, I'm not even gonna think about it. I was like, God, you got me right. And the person I was with, he was like, you can trust me. And I was like, I'm literally gonna trust you. He was like, it's okay. I've been diving so many times with people who have had panic attacks. And I was like, okay. And he was like, it's salt water. You're so like you float anyways. And all and all this stuff. So like the whole experience yesterday of swimming really, really far away and then like having to force myself swim all the way back, I think just pushed out a lot of low energy that I'm now experiencing a better glow. A better glow. I slept like a baby. I was like, oh, it was so nice. For cleansing, I try to use things connected to my culture. I love that. Yeah, you definitely should. What is connected to your culture? I'm multi-ethnic, so I use a lot of things from all my different cultures. Combo beautiful. Hi! Just began boiling bay leaf, rue, and hyssop to block all monitoring spirits. I love that. Hyssop's very strong. Hyssop's very strong. I love hyssop. Allowing the steam to flow throughout my home and for my bath, it cloaks you. Yeah, they're all really good. Rue is really good. I also like papaya leaves, mostly for banishing, but Angelica's daughtering Cynthia. Yeah, Cynthia. That's what I felt like. That's what I like. And when I got out of the water, because my twists, because I didn't twist them very tight, started to come undone. And while I was swimming, like my clip, I forgot to take my clip out. So my clip was like making my mask ass mask act funny. So then as I had to like unclip it and like clip it to myself. But when I came back, all my twists were like all over the place. And he was like, "Well, what did you think?" And I was like, "I'm so glad we're on land." My hair was like all over, and I was like, "This is so great." And I had mascara on that I forgot about, and it was like running down my face. And obviously, I didn't have a mirror, but I could like kind of feel my hair. And I got back and I was like, oh my gosh, it looked like someone just like twisted me, rolled me up, chewed me, spit me out, like all this stuff. And I was like, that's unfortunate he had to see me like that, but it was great. It's like I just went through the washer and then the dryer, and I'm here. Like Palo Santo, incense and holy water you make on your own. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I always carry holy water. I even fly with holy water. I always have Palo Santo too. And mini incense, the tiny ones, just in case. And Moldavite cones. I love Moldavite cones. Yeah, Palo Santo is very sacred, very protective as well. I love it a lot. Um, I used to tell there was this person who would use Palo Santo, but they didn't know much about it. And then it was not a high moment in my life, but I was like, if you can't pronounce Palo Santo, then you can't use it. And she was like, hello, give it to me. I was like, I'll use it. Sometimes you gotta just poke at people. That's kind of badass. Like you really out here being your stuff with your hair and all. No, literally, I was like, and like before I got into the water, I kept hearing that Moana song. Uh it starts off like I've been staring at the edge of the water for all this blah blah blah. And when I was deciding to do it, yeah, like it felt just like spirit was pushing him so hard because he does not push that hard. And he was like, are you feeling brave today? And then I heard that Moana song and I was like, oh man, today's the day. And then I went to my deck and I pulled a card and I was like, just tell me. And it said blessed day. And I was like, dang, I'm excited, but also this is gonna push me to the edge. I know it. Um, but it was, yeah, definitely living my best self out here for sure. It was such a gift. It was such a gift to go from my last memory of swimming in the ocean, like almost dying in Polynesia on my honeymoon with my ex-husband, to um, free swimming in the ocean with a tiny ass buoy so far out I couldn't even see my like I could barely see anything, and still like feeling okay with um like a masculine that I'm getting to know that swam by me the whole time, like, and was like pointing out all these fish and just like, if you're scared, just tell me. Like I'm not gonna like leave your side. And it was just so healing and nice. And um, yeah, and at first I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I can go today. I don't have a mask," and, like, all this stuff. He's like, "I have an extra one, actually." He's like, "I don't mean to insist, but I wanna insist." It's like, "Okay, okay, thanks." True. Oh, I see what you're saying. Your true self, yeah. Um, you, like, liberate part of yourself through that. Totally, that's how it felt. And, like, also it's a great way to protect who you are and your happiness. Like, I don't think people think about protecting their happiness, and in order to get to that stage where I could be authentic and brave, I have like, you always have to let go of parts of you that are so, um traumatizing. It's an old story. Like I said, my mantra for that was fear is just a memory waiting to be rewritten. Um, and so now I can have fun within my happiness and also protect it now because I know what it feels like to be unhappy in the water. And I know now what it feels like to have a lot of fun in the water. Um, and my new memory is a lot more beautiful, and so I can now articulate it in a different way. And like even if I were to go swimming with other people in the ocean, it's like I know what safety feels like and looks like, and I know what not safety looks like and feels like, and it's a good way, it's another way of protection. This is hiding my intention on my practices. I love that. um in what way, Emerald? 444 again. That's interesting. Yeah, 444 is a very um divine number. But yeah, I just feel like there's so many ways that you can have spiritual protection, but I mean, it always starts with us because even if we were to continue to boil our herbs or wear our crystals, like all of that is they're tools to help magnify the energy and beliefs that you have within yourself, because if there's a part of you that believes that they're just plants and they're not really going to work, then even if you boil them, that's the seed of intention that you're planting and they're not going to work. You know what I mean? Because energy always finds like energy. And even when you work with plants, like and in herbalism, like you still need to be able to talk to the plants and like ask them things and work with them and connect with them. um but it's so much easier to do that when you are aligned, just like swimming in the ocean. It's like I know that ocean is going to cleanse me because I believe in the ocean and I love the ocean, and me and the ocean are like one. I was scared of the ocean for a minute, but still got into it, just didn't, swim as far and have fun. Um and just was like, you know what? I know I have a future because I've seen it, so I know that I don't drown today. Like I was like, okay, ocean, protect me. And you know what I did is I drew something that I saw at the bottom of the ocean to mark it as a memory for myself. Um, And I signed it and dated it because I'm an artist, and I put like swimming with blah, blah, blah and their name there. So I remember who I swam with that day. That's exactly what I was typing. It's rebirthing my intention. Yeah. Like rebirthing, rewriting, creating. Essentially, it's alchemizing stuff. And that's how protection works too. My practices are going to be stronger because this is reinvigorating my intentions. I love that. Exactly. When you have a strong belief and faith in what you are doing and your ability to create a better life for yourself, it's impossible to not be able to create it. Like it just is, it exists immediately when you have that intention. Um, like swimming out there, I did my best to not say, "Oh, like, oh, I'm gonna sink." Like when I would do that, I would sink. It's like if you're like, "No, I believe in this. I know the ability of my skills. I've seen my magic." And it's the same thing if any of you are, business owners. Like when you do readings for people, um, it's sometimes you have that moment of like, am I giving the right advice? Of course you're giving the right advice. Like you're reading energy and so, it's like you gotta like really anchor into your truth and your ability to create and understand the spiritual realm. And when you can elevate with those beliefs, like that's when the deities and the orishas just surround you because they start to recognize your energy, and they want to help you, especially because you have a cause. Like a lot of the times when deities and gods and things start to come to you, it's because they're meant to help you on your destined path. And it's always great to humble yourself, especially if they're different deities and gods that are extremely strong. Um, like you never have to be scared of them, but like if one of them is inviting you to learn things that they could teach you, just do it and then just know that, yeah, you're probably gonna have to be devoted. Like it just is what it is. Like I was updating my calendar. I have a Google Calendar with all of the deities and gods and things, and not all of them, most of them, um, that I work with most frequently. So I remember when to clean my altar, change offerings, candle workings for people, and that kind of stuff. So that I can continue to honor them for a lot of the protection that they give and the luck that they share and meditations that I channel from them to give to all of you, right? Like it becomes like so integrated into your life. Hi Mia, how are you? Happy Thursday, happy money day. Are you coming to class today? Are you coming to class today? Or are you coming on Friday? Friday, self-love day is also Shakti day. Saraswati Day. Oh, y'all are sweet. Um, I feel this a lot, 100%. I'm glad. Yeah, protection work takes a lot of time. I do feel like also when people go on their spiritual paths, um, and you're like learning how to get your bearings with your spiritual gifts, there's always going to be a phase in your life where you're like hyper paranoid. You're hyper paranoid, so then you think you need to like do all the protections and do all the like you will have phases where you're ascending and you're literally going through like a spiritual warfare. Like that is a real thing. Like I went through it for like a year and a half, almost longer than that. And it was just like one thing after another, and then finally it was like the breakthrough, and I took a like deep breath. But it's during those times that you need all that stuff, and then the rest of it is like maintenance and that kind of stuff. um it's a balance. Daisy, I'm doing really great today. Yay! How's your energy? My energy is so good. Thank you all for asking. Y'all are sweet. I'm glad you're doing great today. Your energy feels happy. Your energy feels happy. I'll be in class. Woo! So excited to see you all. I'm gonna be early or something. I was early today. Yeah, energy is good. I feel really whole today. Really whole. Like I've got food, I've got water, like candles running. Yeah, all of you are here. Just open. I feel like I'm just like expanding and just being as present as I can. But energy is good. Debating on if I should take another nap before class. Sometimes I take 2 naps in a day. It helps align my energy when I'm channeling so much. Um, but how's your protection work, Nia? How are things going for you in the protection space? Um, for folks who weren't here, I was saying that, like, if you live in a house and you do a lot of spiritual work and you're able to, and you have a yard and stuff, you can use the double cross railroad nails, spikes, and hammer them into the ground. They're usually like this big, probably like yay thick. They're actual railroad spikes. Um, Burn them in fire to cleanse them, dip them into water. You can put holy water in there if you want to do that. And then hammer them into the ground in certain directions, um, so that you can, protect your space. It's very great for warding. You can even put warding on the bottom of your like doormats if you live somewhere. Like if you haven't done that already, I highly recommend it. Um, you can do like an Archangel Michael sigil, looks like a circle and then a line, and then it goes up like this and then down. You can put it on the bottom of your mat at your door. Um, That's always a good thing. Using bells and stuff on the backside of doors are also good for protection and happiness in multiple cultures, actually. I do feel happy today. I feel safe too and at peace. I've been really making a conscious choice to choose my higher self and not stress. Yay! Yeah, I can feel your energy. It feels really nice today. I'm glad that not that your energy feels bad today, but in your other days, but I'm just saying, I can feel it it's very steady, very even, um, which is nice, especially in like your belly and your back and stuff. Like it doesn't feel congested or tight or anything like that. Your back feels really relaxed too, like your upper back. Um, I'm glad you're choosing it. I mean, that's something that's it's so important. Happiness and joy and your manifestations all rely on you being able to choose happiness over and over and over again. Like you have to choose your life over and over and over again. And sometimes when you're on your spiritual path and you have been in learned helplessness for so long that you think that things are just going to happen to you, but you have to actively choose your path and take action, like take action, which is also choosing, but take action in your day to day to manifest that life, like just like the swimming thing. Like if I didn't follow God's guidance and come to this exact house and meet this person and open up about swimming, like, on a walk and have talks about it, and then turns out they dive and, like, and all these like, if I didn't actively choose and seek out moments of joy, I wouldn't have been able to heal myself and be happy. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be enjoying all the delicious food and relearning a language that I never fully learned, but want to because my ancestors and it's a part of me. Um, you have to just keep choosing it. That sounds amazing. So beautiful. You inspire me a lot to choose happiness. See, oh, no, I'm gonna cry again. That's part of my protection these days to keep a high vibe. I wear crystals to sage like a mad woman. Yeah, sage is great. I've been decluttering so much too. Oh, yay! I'm doing it again. I'm taking a screenshot. I love these. I'm collecting them. I'm gonna share them. Um, that's so sweet. I was just saying, I don't know when you joined. Um, But the happiness and the high vibe, it is protection. It's completely protection. And also, like, a lot of people don't understand happiness, and they already kind of avoid it. And then the right people, the happy people always go towards other happy people. And so you like unintentionally create a world of happiness because you've chosen happiness and they've chosen happiness. It's kind of like what I was talking about when I started meeting people when I was here and we were having a conversation and we all have an understanding of each other and resonate with each other because we all took a leap. We all took a leap to not be in a country maybe we were raised in and to follow our intuition and come here. And so we all understand what it feels like to take a risk on our happiness. And so we're all happy. And so now we can all talk to each other about that. So it's like your universe and your physical world starts to reflect it back to you. And if you believe that you are protected, loved, and held, you will magnetize people who will protect you and love you and all the things. Like I've never felt so safe in the middle of an ocean, like whatsoever. like by like I was like, something could just come on. I was like, I know you got this. Choices and accountability, those two words keep coming up. Yeah. It's a choice. It's always a choice. And accountability is the only way you're going to be able to live the life that you are wanting. One day at a time. I love that. One day, one action. It's clicking. Yes. I choose happiness because I definitely have choices. Yeah, you always have choices. When you wake up first thing in the beginning of the day, you have a choice to smile. You have a choice to say thank you for another day. You have a choice to express gratitude. Even if something feels a little funky, you're like, you know what? I'm still going to choose happiness. I'm going to choose happiness. And, I walk around sometimes and every day I go to the look at this on my phone. I don't know if you can see it. Uh, can I make it dark again? I don't know if you can see that. Right there, it says, I choose to feel happy. So confirmation for you all. Um, but there's some people who walk along that beach and some places have hotels and stuff like that. And you can always just sense when people don't know how to choose happiness. And I was like, I'm just gonna walk up and down this beach just happy as a clown. Just like so happy. Just like, oh, saying hi to everybody, asking them how they're doing, just like all the stuff. And it gets reflected back to you. And then, of course, you're gonna run into people who just look at you like you're bananas. And I'm like, I love you the mostest. Yeah, how are you? We're doing great. I feel so good after doing the park literal magic in motion. Yes! Yes, stay in your fairy magic. Always be outside. I've come to terms that I have an issue with feeling empowered. I see now I literally have to make it a point to make choices, choose. I got the power. Yeah. Choosing is your freedom. Choosing is your liberation. It's it's your key. It's your golden ticket. It's your key. Because if you're on your path and on your path there's a fork in the road and one of them is like your past and the other one's your future and you're all happy and it's like what are you going to do? Just stand there? No, you have to choose. You have to choose the path, right? I'm proud of you, Z. Your Chinese food's like amazing. I'm so glad you magnetized me. That's helping to get to me to expand. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet for saying that. Yeah, it's so fun. It's so fun. Like that's why I always try and share because like I also wish that throughout my journey I had more people who around me who shared because I didn't. I and sometimes I still don't all like not to the same spiritual caliber um as me and like how spirits possess other body like it's a very common thing for me to be outside and have spirits possess other bodies and talk to me like all day long and then they're gone um and so a lot of times it's just me and my spirits me and my spirits and then meeting community um and it's a weird life but I love it. I appreciate you. Yeah, both diving experiences which they happen so quickly back to back. I'm actually writing about it for Adventures of a Single Triglylineo because it was weird how it all kind of unfolded. It was really freaking weird. Yes, we always have choices. That's the beauty of this world, isn't it? Absolutely. I got to basically see butterflies mating today. Ooh, I love it. I made a good choice to visit the farm. So funny. For a while, when I would go to the river, it was like I was always catching ducks mating. It was really strange. I thought it was funny. Text tarot with you gave me much clarity too. I highly recommend. Yay! And shout out to Elle who helped me realize that the messages were getting lost in the universe. I had to restart the whole system. Um, I'm so glad they helped. Yeah, if anybody ever wants like a question answered, you can literally text. I'll put the number on the screen so you have it. If you just text this number, text Soul Tarot to it, it sends you like whatever you need and you just pay the $22 or it sends you the link if you want a personal reading, like a live one with me. And you ask your questions, and I'll do a full ass spread for you and explain to you everything. It's quite the steal, everybody. It's quite the steal. And obviously for this group of folks, it took a little bit longer for me to get to it because I didn't realize the messages were getting eaten. So thanks. Thanks for saying that, Mia. I love it. I'm gonna screenshot that one too. I meant to do it the other screenshot way, but I did it the whole screen. It's fine. Yes, I talked to my inner children, like you told me. Yes, is powerful. I am showing us that we are safe and can enjoy these fairy adventures. I love it. I'm so happy you did that exercise already. Oh, you are such a dream client. I'm so happy you're in More Than Worthy. Like, I've had some folks where it's like, they're like, oh, I'll do it. And I'm like, okay, you know what? We're just going to do all the exercise. I'm going to hold your hand through every single one until we do this. I love that. I love that you're able to talk to them. It's a great exercise. Affirm. Life is I choose to view it this way. Woo! Yes. You have time for yeses and rests and fun and fairies and all the things. Three butterflies were trying to get it on today. Oh, I was like, oh my gosh. I'm pretending this is your voice. I'm like, there's definitely messages within the scene. Oh, always. Nature is always communicating to you. Always communicating to you. I when I started to get messages about my choice between two people, like who I'm going to end up with, I started to see it in nature. It happens a lot, and it always made me laugh. Made me laugh so hard because there was, like, a female duck and then, like, a male duck, and then they were, like, going along, and then the female duck, like, sat there, and the male duck had to go, like, do something, and so it, like, flew away for a second, and then this other male duck, like, came in and, like, tried to get the other female duck, and then they were flying around, and the other one just, like, came and, like, fought the oth it was, like, this whole scene. And then I just heard in my head, like, "choice," and I was like that? Like, that's a bit much, but then in the end, the, like the duck that had left and, like, eventually was like, "Hey, that's my woman." Basically, fought off the other fought off the other duck, and then stood on this like perch with the female duck like behind them and kind of tucked in a plant and just like had its wings out and was like doing this and was like looking around and making all this noise and I was like, "Oh, wow." And then I went to go get a green juice and outside of the store there was a car with a certain color that literally looked like a duck and the license plate said quack. I literally went to quack, and I was like I started laughing so hard. When the universe starts to talk to you, it's the creepiest and probably the funniest thing I've ever seen. The funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh my god, I pulled 3 cards for myself today, and, like, Spirit is saying, "Hey, girl, it's okay to chill." And I'm feeling myself excited, rushing, almost be like, "Nah, girl, it's okay." Yeah, sometimes the universe just says, like, the funniest things. I'm glad Nah, girl, it's okay. Yeah, you're solid. You're totally solid. Yeah, always go outside. Nature will speak to you. Nature's like a great protection. It was the funniest thing I've seen. I've never and it was like a very specific colored car. It was like their car in a very specific color for real with a plate that said quack. And I was like, the fuck? I was like, this is some sort of fucking energy. And I was like, damn, bruh, protective much? And the ancestors were like, yeah, he's gonna protect you. And I was like, well, who's the other person? I'm laughing so hard. And they're like, it's an energy thing that's happening right now. And I was like, cool. And then afterwards, like later on, after he did his little perch, I was like maybe an hour, I was like reading my book, and then they started mating. I was like, dang, is that how life go now? Duck life. I need to plug in my computer before it dies. Hold on. I was cracking up, quacking up. I was quacking up. Oh wow, quack is so straightforward, can't miss. I know, and it literally looked like a fucking duck. And the car color is like very much so a color that they're obsessed with. And I was like, what kind of energy do you have? It's like, what the fuck is that? And then I went, like after I saw that car. I had to go to the UPS store, which is like right around the corner from there. So I walked to the other side, and then someone else that I had gone on a date with walked out of that store, and I like booked it and like pretended to blend in. You know, from like Emperor's New Groove when Kronk is like going around and he's like "Bee-doo-doo," like doing that thing. That's how I did it. And I was like, today's a weird fucking day. It's like, please don't see me. Please don't see me. Disappear. Disappear. Too synchronistic. It's like, okay, I hear you loud and cloud universe. Exactly. Elle, you're gonna keep getting more of this. The more you journey, the more you're gonna see, and it's gonna crack you up all day long. That's why it's fun to be a fairy. Greetings. Hi. You're about to get out of here in a few, aren't you? Yeah. Not too long. But yeah, I've been on here for a little over an hour. Oh my gosh, I meant to say loud and clear. Loud and cloud. That's I like that, loud and cloud. Also, earlier today, someone was saying to look at the clouds. So maybe it's important. Maybe go look at some clouds. I'm laughing my butt off right now. I'm about to get fired. Everything happens for a reason. No, like when I'm telling y'all, just jump into the spiritual realm. Like that's why I want you to go outside and have fun because when the universe like really starts talking and your ancestors talk at the same time, it's the funniest shit I think I've ever seen. Like when I was in Charlotte, I went to USPS. USPS. Why can't I say it? USPS? Huh? um, and there's this person at the counter and I really wanted one of the highlighters because I liked the yellow, and they're just USPS ones, and so I asked if I can have one, and then he made this joke, but was, like, kinda rude about it, and then my my ancestor literally went, "Not my baby," and went and threw the pens across the thing, and I just stood there, and he was like, "Ah, well, that was fast karma," and I was like, "You think?" I was like, "Can I have one, please?" I was like, I love this spiritual realm because it's the funniest thing ever. It's the funniest thing ever. But I've also had my butt handed to me by the spiritual realm. Like when I wasn't supposed to tell something to somebody, and then the thing like snapped on my finger and I started bleeding. And I was like, ugh. And they're like, stop running your mouth. Ancestors, they always say the same thing. I got in bed. Oh, is that like a toot cloud or a run cloud? I'm doing great. How are you too? How are you, Z? I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. We were talking about healing and ocean and synchronicities and choosing happiness and love and protection work. And choosing your highest self is also a part of that in the spiritual realm. We were also talking about animals and creatures mating in nature. Sex seems to keep coming up in every single live now. I'm here for it. Also, Friday's class is on sacred sensuality. So if anybody wants to be there, we're also doing healing work in there. It's been a whole vibe today, and I love it. I love it. I loves it so much. I love it so much. Hi, King Grizzly. I'm doing great. And hey, I've been observing a lot right now. Peeps are funny to me. I'm open to whatever. Like if they want to say hi to me, cool. If they don't, that's cool too. Yeah, it helps not overthinking. No, it's so true. Like you just kind of let it be. And some people are so happy to say hi. There's this cute little lady today who was saying hi to all the birds that were like on the ground, like walking around. It was so cute. It was so cute. I couldn't help but be like, oh my gosh, that is so cute. She just was so happy. She was so old. It was so cute. I'm doing great today. I feel very peaceful. I love that. That's a whole vibe. All the peeps are here. Hugs. I know. All the peeps. Hugs to everybody. Hugs, 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 hugs. Hugs all around. Hugs all around. Don't worry about them. It shows more about them. So old. She was so old and cute and tiny. And she just was so happy to see those birds. It's like, I love this. I was also acting a fool out there because I was really happy. I mean, walking and squishing your feet through the softest white sand and seeing like blue water every day, it just like makes me so happy. And then I started doing all these funny things and just enjoying myself. And I like sat in the water, but where it was shallow, so I could sit on the sand. And then I was like doing random stuff with my legs and was like all this stuff because I thought I was alone over there. And then I realized someone was like laying in the palm tree, like you know how they're kind of slanted, and then he just like looked at me, and I was like, "Oh, hello, toodaloo, just me, little old me in the ocean, like wee." It's like, oh, are you reading something? Don't worry about it. When I go to the ocean, I feel like I can die happy. To be honest, exactly. That's how I feel. Like I'm just like, and I lay on my towel, but I half lay on it because I love the sand as well. Like I'm just like, oh, give me all that sun. Give me more and more. I just lay there. And I did a bunch of breath work for like 30 minutes, jumped back into the water. We did all the things. Went back. It's just it's a whole rising routine. And then I sit there and I'm like, so God, what would you like to tell me today? It's great. Oh, look at all these hugs. I'm gonna start saying hi to all the duckies too. I do with the squirrels. Yeah, you should say hi to all of them. Someone asked me once, they're like, "How'd you get that squirrel to stand so still?" I was like, "If you just say hi, they kind of stand there and like look at you." I was like, click. It was like a perfect little picture. I'm gonna frame this. Living the life. Yes, I love warm sand. Ah, when was the last time, or where was the last time you went to the sand? Yeah, I love the sand. It feels so good. Literally feels so nice. It never gets old. It never gets old. And it's just so relaxing, and it's so good for the skin, and, oh, it's just so nice. I feel so honored to live here. Like, the fact that, like, Spirit picked all this, and I just get to enjoy it and help people, it's amazing. And sure, every once in a while, my power goes out. Well, I'm fine with that. I trust God. God took me snorkeling twice. Well, come on. I'm doing great. I like the beach, but when my feet are wet and the sand sticks, it feels weird. Yeah, I can feel also, it depends on the sand sometimes too. Like, the sand here, even if you're wet and you're walking through, it eventually dries and falls off, like, it doesn't stick very much. Love the beach, not Delaware's beach, but love other beaches, LOL, recharge. What's Delaware's beach like? So calming, you are a mermaid in the water and a forest fairy on land. Exactly. That's a good way to put it. So it's connecting back to being more tribal in the sense of Earth is our home, walk barefoot in the grass and be in nature. Yeah, you should connect with all those energies. Yeah, I've always wanted to um have a mermaid tail. I actually found some people like 2 years ago and was like patiently waiting. I was like, is now the time, spirit? And then I got a thing that was like mermaid photo shoot, and I was like, is it now? It's like, do I have to keep learning how to swim? How long is it gonna take? Um, I think it would be a cool album cover, my next album cover, or just because I want to. Um, yeah, it's such a magical experience. And it reminds me, like, if you think about some of your first visions of like your past lives and things like that, it's usually tied to the stuff that you're already doing right now. And when I first was like, I call it energetically punched in the stomach when I got tethered again to um, my partner and our lives, basically, and I saw them for the first time. I also saw our first lifetime, and we were water creatures. We were raw water creatures. And while I was out swimming, I just kept seeing all the things that I was seeing before, and I was like, "Oh, this feels familiar." Very blessed, grateful. Yes, you are. All of you are. Yeah, that's really cool about a mermaid tail. This one lady professionally wears one, and that's too cool. Yeah, I love it. I love it so much. There's also a bar in my old hometown. It's called a mermaid bar. There's a mermaid that swims around in there the whole time. And my cousin, she also loves mermaids. And my sister like knit her the coolest baby wrap. It was like all made of seaweed. Like it was shaped like seaweed, but it was to be able to wrap her baby in. So then the baby looked like he was covered in seaweed, but it would keep him safe and like keep his hands on his side. Um, it was the coolest thing. It was the coolest thing. It's like, what? Sand has to be a beach in Santa Cruz. 2 summers ago. It's been too long. Yeah. Everybody should take an adventure if you can to the sand soon. Take an adventure. Adventure. Woo! I have a question for you all. Where does God want you to go next? Do you know? Yeah, okay. I get that ancient eyes. Where does God want you to go next? Have you gotten downloads about it? Whether it's to a park or a store, moving, what has God told you? Or the universe, ancestors, what have they told you? It was hard-headed, if we're being honest, when God told me. I didn't mean to be, but I was like, is that for me? Brack, blackish, I'm assuming, water and trash. Bacteria warnings with horseshoe crabs. Jellyfish, but tourists come down here all the time for some reason. Oh my gosh, that's the worst description ever. Yeah, definitely go to a different beach. I feel you on that. I think it's safe to say that is not the beach you should go to. I love the beach. Every time I've lived by the water, I've loved it. The last time was when I lived in Southern California, in Santa Barbara. I'm getting just do what you want right now. I love that freedom. Do whatever you want. I think I'm doing the dip my toe in the pool of putting myself out there, like showing myself I'm okay to leave my house, etc. I hear Tahoe again. I'm gonna see what else pops up. Ooh, Tahoe solo trip, you think? Or Tahoe trip coupled? Or with someone? Tahoe is great. It's a very healing place, very healing waters. I love snowboarding there. You have a lot of water energy, V, even though you're a Sag. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, your main signs are not really your main signs. Like, if you look at your whole chart, I don't know, has anybody done this before? Like, looked at your whole energy chart in terms of percentages? Like, I'm a Sag sun, but my whole chart it's like earth and water are two of the biggest ones for me. Two of the biggest ones for me. And um I think fire is after that and then air, or it might be reversed. Like fire is actually not a huge part of my sign, but water has always been in the forefront of everything. Same with earth, which makes sense 'cause it's a larger percentage of my chart. And then I present sometimes as like a Leo, which is my rising sign, and sometimes Sagittarius. That's where I get my adventurous spirit, like obviously moving with one bag type of vibe. um, but I mean, I'm also a singer, so I have that like siren energy too. I don't know. I feel like it's the whole percentage. Do any of you know your like full chart percentages? I feel like I could go with my dad also, but not gonna lie, the budgeting thing feels so new for me, like not just sporadically buying stuff and possibly going somewhere, planning and budgeting is so new. Yeah, just vibe with it. Just vibe. You don't have to make any decisions right now. It'll happen when it's time. You'll get the signs. You'll get the signs, you know? And that's the thing about your spiritual journey and working with the universe. Nuh-uh, I can't read them. The percentages, is that what you mean, HMX? Um, Sometimes you get messages from spirit and it's not always right away, like they don't mean right now. Um, Sometimes when I need clarity, I ask my ancestors to like reinforce an answer so I can understand it. Like when I was doing my ticket, it was like, okay, I need to leave. And then it was literally like the ancestors were like, now. I was, "Oh, okay. Okay. Ah, okay, yes, the chart. Yeah, some apps, if you I think like Nebula might have it still, which is a free app. If you do your astrology on there, it shows you a percentage of your entire chart, so then you can see what your actual makeup is and where your elements kind of balance out. But it's not gonna stop me, it's just something I'm being aware of for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm clearing all the energies that don't serve me anymore. I haven't known what to do with my whole birth chart astrology reading. Yeah, I love looking at astrology. So, Elle, if you ever wanna look at it or dig into it, you just let me know because 'cause you're more than worthy, so, um, it's I love looking at the birth chart. There's a lot of fun I mean, the easiest way to kind of learn your birth chart is to follow along with the new moons and full moons. And as you learn the signs of the new moons and full moons and timing, you can see where those placements correspond with your own birth chart to get to know yourself and what it means about you. That's a great way to do it because it's like once or twice, or well, once or twice. It's twice a month. Well, depending on which moon you want to use, or both. Um, you can follow it that way and learn a lot in a very digestible way. Getting downloads and allegedly anyone in these covenants that came for me these past 8 months, feeling it right now, just locking, focus on me. Ireland, love is coming. I love that. Ireland is a beautiful place. Ireland is such, I love Ireland. I would live there. I love Ireland. But also love the people. My dad's side of the O'Neills. They're just great and they're so loving and the music's so good and the people are just beautiful and there's so much history there and the castles and everything is so green. I'm mostly water. Second would be fire. Ah, okay. That makes sense why you when you go into your healing, you're gonna hit most of the water first. And it'll like consume you. Imagine a really excited person who is trying to run and someone is holding them up while they're running, like you would do to a little doggy, because they wanna go now, but I don't. Gotta rush or force it. Yes, exactly. That's what spirit's gonna do. Or like, when you have the sibling that holds your forehead and you just try swinging, but you can't really get anywhere. Yeah. Yeah. And be more clear too. Okay, cool. Knowing I'm a Cancer moon most likely helps me understand myself more too. Yeah. And you can um that kickoff session too, I talked a little bit about it. I forgot that my screensavers also give me places and like Paris, England, places I don't usually think about are basically places I'll be called to go when I'm meant to. Yeah, you will when it's time. When it's time. That's what's so fun about like, when you're on your journey, it's easy to get like worried about money and all those things, but if God's already shown it to you, it means you get there. So stop freaking out. You know what I mean? Not directed at you, but like that's something for everybody. Like on my journey, like I really had to surrender early on, like how it was gonna happen or when was the money gonna come and all that kind of stuff because God already knows. God showed it to me. You know what I mean? Like, I've already have downloads, all these visions. It's like I know I do all these things, and every time I'm like, oh yeah, I saw this happen a year ago, and then it happened this year, right? Um, so it's like you already are getting the information, so just enjoy the journey, even if it's challenging sometimes. Like God's already shown you. It's already shown you. You have the gift of seeing, and yet sometimes you question, right? I'm an earth sign, and I grew up loving the water until I saw the movie Jaws. Yeah, that fear lived in me until today. Yesterday, I was told I need to be in the ocean, and in this conversation today, yeah, I was really scared of sharks too. I think the biggest thing is understanding that nature is nature, and when it's your time to die, it is. Like that's how blunt like you just kind of have to be, right? Like, and I knew swimming. I was like, if it was my time to go, then it's my time to go. If I get to, like, and animals in nature are very in tune to energy, but you have to respect it. You have to respect them and follow your intuition. I think I told this recently, a couple of days ago when I mean, I was in Polynesia and I felt like there was a shark or something in the water that was staring back, but I couldn't see it. And I just felt like I don't want to jump in that water. It feels like I'm like jumping into a mouth or something. Like that's literally was like if I jump in there, something's gonna like get me. And I never felt that feeling before, like kind of fearful, but not like that. And then someone ended up getting bit by a shark in that water. And so it was also kind of like it didn't scare me, but it was like, just follow your intuition. Like know when your intuition is speaking versus your fear. And on that trip, I free swam with sharks. It was like a bad idea, but like I did it anyways because I felt called to do it. But then when I started, like, because everybody was swimming with the sharks and all those things, and they were like, wow, so much fun. And then I just like closed my eyes underwater and then was like sensing where the sharks were. And I was like, I can't see you right away, but I can feel you. And they were just everywhere. And one time I just like really, really focused and I could see this shark. It was just me and the shark just staring back at me. And I just was like, I don't think you're gonna do anything to me, but I feel like I don't need to be in this water. Like I was like, "Mm, I don't think you're the one that's gonna bite me, but I'm sensing that you have been given something." And then I was like, I'm just gonna go back on the boat. And I already had a feeling to like not be in the water fully for a long time. Like it just felt weird. And when I got back on the boat, I was watching above and all the sharks were following the people and the people were looking for the sharks, but the sharks were following them like almost on their tails but they or their feet, but they couldn't see them. And I was like, yeah, that's all kind of felt down there. And then talking to people, and they were feeding the sharks to get tourists to go there. And I was like, yeah, they're kind of looking like they didn't know if they should eat or like what. Like it was a very like eerie moment, and I was like, I'm just gonna respect nature and know that you could bite me. Not that you want to, but because they've been feeding you in this place and didn't tell us at all, I don't like, I'm not gonna be mad that you bit me because I'm in the water and people feed you here. So basically, I'm like a human on your plate. Like, what am I gonna expect? You know what I mean? Just the kick off season help to the Leo in me wants the spotlight. That's really good to know. Exactly. Yeah, man, I'm just being honest, you know what I mean? Yes, it is what it is, really. I have to accept it. This is a lot I can tell myself it's okay to leave the house. Yeah. I saw a turtle while snorkeling before and it freaked me out because he came out of nowhere. I think it's okay to face fear and you can start small. Go to the shallow end first and give yourself props. Yeah, turtles are good luck. Being is brave. Yeah, I loved it. One of my friends who didn't know that I swam with sharks, she sent me this picture of like a package. I don't remember if I told you. I may have. a picture of a package, and it was my name, my exact name, and she was like, "Oh," 'cause she works at, like, the processing, I think it was, like, UPS or something like that, but inside, because I have to tell you what's inside, it was a shark egg, and she, like, sent me a thing, and she's like, "Look, V, you're a shark whisperer," and I was like, "Maybe that's what it is." I was like, "I don't know." L shark came out of nowhere, or that shark came out of nowhere. No, it came from the ocean. LOL, I was watching shark vids, dude, and I never do that. I definitely know it was communication also. Yeah, like, they just they're there. 333. Earth dominant, water secondary. Ah, that makes sense. You have Earth dominant. Up on the outside. Pisces rising. Very, very tapped into your emotions. Strong as steel inside Scorpio Capricorn. I love that. Steady. I feel my vibes are vacation relaxed. It's like I love that it's opposite of what I've usually felt, even without proof of nothing changing in my world. I'm feeling peace. Good. Yeah, the ocean is powerful. It's very, very powerful. Like you just gotta love it and respect it. And I know that it's so much bigger than me, and I can learn to like work with it and learn to not disturb it, and also learn just like walking around. Don't walk in the middle of the street where the cars are. You're gonna get hit by a car. Don't go swim with the sharks where they've been fed. You're gonna get eaten by a shark. It's very common sense in my book. And I always ask questions. Like I'm like, is it shark season? I'm like, are there whales with baby whales? Because that means there's also going to be sharks. And I'm kind of baby whale size. So I'm like, are there seals? How many sharks are there? What types of sharks? Are they the tiny sharks I could beat off, or are they like the big sharks? Like, can I have a kayak? You just gotta prepare yourself. Where did you find the deity calendar that you said you were using throughout the year? I would love that. I'm building it in Google. I'm building it in Google. I just have been adding the deities that I work with, and then just adding certain offerings, like easy offerings that you can do, um, and things like that. And then I'm gonna go through and like add on like cultural holidays and that kind of stuff, because we all know that, well, one F Google, but Google likes to have stupid days on their calendar. And so I was like, I'm gonna build a cultural calendar that's relevant to my spirituality. Z's Universe now has an updated calendar for real people. ZTV calendar. Yeah, so I'm building it. Oh my gosh, I wish we could all go there and play in the ocean. Also, should I just start on Canva making a workshop? Because I'll be overthinking lots. Yeah, just start. Just start. Do your videos and just start. And then if you want, we can go over it on Monday. Just message me. And I probably wouldn't ask any questions until I've jumped in. Yeah. I mean, I didn't in the beginning. I just kind of sensed it, but now I ask questions because, like, people have tainted the ocean and the sea. So now I'm curious what they've done. But it's also just like it is what it is. It's my time. It's my time. If it's not my time, it's not my time. But there is free will. So there's free will. That doesn't mean you go be reckless with your life. You do have free will. You can create a new path where it is your time. This is getting dark, but it's funny. My cousin friend works with sharks in Hawaii. Oh my gosh, hold on. And she said you punch them in the nose and they will leave. Yeah, you go straight for the center. I'm not doing that shit. Yeah, I mean if they're like, it's like some don't necessarily want to bite you. They're not necessarily gonna come at you with their mouth open until the last minute, like we see in movies. But they will come at you. You just have to make sure that when you punch, you hit the nose and not through the mouth. You know what I mean? It was a memory that I'll never like swimming with stingrays, dumbest idea. Dumbest. I have done some of the I'm never listening to anybody ever again. I was in a stage of my life where I was impressionable. and just not intelligent. But I had some of the best memories. I've never seen so many stingrays, but I was like, I it clicked on me when I was looking around at all the stingray tails, and I was like, vision of like, what's his name passing? And I was like, oh no, 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 no. I just got back. I was like, what am I doing? Who booked this? Why am I here? I can take them. Yeah, you could take them. If you believe it, you could take them. I mean, obviously the little ones. I'm like a shark magnet, I think. Like literally. Because then when I went home and I was like on my little kayak, I just looked over to the left and then there was a shark fin coming up through the coral. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is just going to be an everyday thing. And then I was like, I'm just going to sit here and see how big it is. Because sometimes they have big fins and they're like this big. It was like this big. I was like, oh, I can poke you with my paddle, but I'm not going to do that. But I mean, like, it was, if it was like, I could just, I'm still going to get out. It's like, it's totally fine. That's cool that they work with sharks. That sounds like an amazing thing to do. It sounds like so much fun. Sounds like I love Hawaii. I love octopus in general. A little bit. A little bit. You just want to eat it. Have you seen the eels there? Man, those things are. Have you ever fed an eel? I fed an eel. It was disgusting. Are these giant worms? They're like giant. Bleh. They're so big. You could like. I was there. Like I just got off the Jeep thingy, and it was they were in the water and stuff. And he didn't like really tell us what he was about to do. So I was just like standing in the water because it was low. It was like kind of like a creek thing. And then he cracked to open this thing. And then all these fucking eels come all over and slimy and all these nasty things. And I was like, I'm not gonna scream. I'm gonna take it like I don't know. And I just stood there like, why do I keep traumatizing myself today? A whole bunch of eels. They're slippery and slimy, and they're like black, and they're like when he was feeding. I can't even say it, was so traumatizing. He was feeding them, and they just were like whipping around like all these snake things, and just like splashing all this water. And I was like, "Do I move? Will they bite me?" And they seem to like tuna. I'm not tuna. They'll probably be fine. Should I email you for the questions about the courses? Yeah, that's fine. You can do that. If I could teleport anywhere, I'd teleport to the big island of Kona. Ah, ooh, good choice. Kona coffee? Kona. Hi, Tanya. Yeah, I'm telling you. Ooh, I do not recommend anybody standing in a thing of eels. Don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. I also recommend everybody ask questions about the details of what your excursion is going to be like. The leopard spotted eels, they were solid black. I don't know. Let me look. Let me look. Let me look. Hold on. I don't look like these fucking aliens. Um, no, they're like, I think they were like freshwater eels or something like that. Hold on. No, it just makes me want to hurl just looking at them. Maybe they have these weird names. They kind of look like this one, but they were darker. That was basically me. Except I was like, but not. Everybody else was like not in the water. Like I was like, did I not get the memo? I was like, yeah, it was great. I wonder if sharks know or can see that you're a librarian chosen one, or do they just see food? I don't think they just see food. They smell also really strong. He donated me. I'm a special mention. I don't know. I believe that if we can sense them, they can sense us because we're all the same. So I think eh, don't get me started on science and people dumbing down the intelligence of nature. So we are all light beings who are extremely intelligent, and so are they. Openly going out to find Jackson's wild. Great whites, I'm good. The ocean got some things in there. Oh, it definitely does. I did do the snorkeling and sea check, but that's about it. That's so fun. It's all good. What are you talking about? Oh, sharks, sharks and oceans and being connected to water and all sorts of stuff about land animals. Like a lot of things don't bother me. Z, what did you think you were getting into? I don't know. I let my freaking partner at the time plan it. I let him plan it. But like we had very different versions of safety back then. And I just love adventure. But like I didn't like thinking I was like, I trust you. I was like, I didn't know I was gonna basically almost die every like 2 hours. I'm like, but I loved it. I still love like the whole adventure. If I knew about it, would I have done it? Probably, but I think I would have been a lot more cautious. Where this, I just went like, you know, just went straight in. I didn't have time to think about it. Like I'm like, too late. I'm standing in the eels and they're feeding them and they're like all around my feet and they're like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how am I gonna get out of this? I don't fucking know how I'm gonna get out of this. I'm just gonna wait till they all swim away. And then he eventually threw stuff down the thing and then they kind of went away. And I was like, no. Okay, so my question is okay, great. I will look at it tomorrow. Eels, so they seem creepy. Yeah, they are kind of creepy, especially when they move out. Like they're like it's like a bunch of like tiny anacondas like splashing in water, and it's like that's what it sounded like. It just like oh, wow. I was like, don't. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. You got cooties. Nicey stomping with the heels. I mean, I wasn't stomping. I wanted to run away, but you just go with it. I love the analogy of being on a shark's play when we were swimming in their torrente where they're fed. But it's true. I'm like, what do I can't be mad. Like when people are like, oh, they got a bite. Like anytime we go into the ocean, we're not sea creatures. Like they are there's a chain. So in order for the shark to stay like towards the top of the chain, they eat everything else. So it's like when we go out there, am I willing to duke it out with a shark for being top of the food chain? Like we have to see it like that. Like it's not like people think, oh, pretty butterflies, it's a shark. It's a no. They rule the ocean with all the other sea creatures. You know what I mean? So it's like I know that if I go swimming with a shark, it's gonna be me or the shark. Just like the eels. If they feel threatened, it's me or the eel, and they got that tail and the stingrays, and like they got the pokey thing, and I'm like, am I willing? No, just get out of the water. Especially if you're being all chicken about it, because you're gonna manifest it. Eels seem representative of swift maneuverability. Could be, yeah. That's so true. I agree with science dumbing down nature. Yeah, I feel like they dumb down a lot of nature. Like they think it's something to just look at. And I'm like, no, it's literally been here before most of us. So what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, it survives all the disasters. You can't even, again, to the whole like, you can't even wipe your own butt. Like, you have to see a doctor for wiping your butt wrong. Like, like you can't clean your teeth, so you have to see a dentist. Like they have to lay you down to poke your tooth. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes when I hear certain things that people say, I'm like, do you know how ridiculous the human species is? Like this guy the other day was like, oh, I use these patches to like, I don't know, something about stem cells, some rich thing. And then I was like, did you know that if you just ate better, like a part of nature. Sometimes I feel like I'm gonna hyperventilate, and I'm like, "Dude, the human species is so stupid sometimes." Like, do you know we have to? I just I can't. We don't have fins. So if the water came over, I just can't. I'm gonna go out in my pirate ship with my crew, and we're gonna telepathically talk to sea animals and find the treasure. You should totally do that. Do it. The sharks will be our friends, and so will the eels. I mean, they didn't really care that I was there. They didn't really care. I was just standing. They were just like, maybe they were like, oh, tree stump. And then we need a pirate retreat. Yes, pirate retreat for sure. Y'all are funny. We're in their home. We are the visitors for show. Absolutely. It's so funny watching people be surprised in videos I've seen too when they're like, why is this shark bothering me? Maybe you're bothering them. Yeah, like can we like coexist and like be respectful of the fact that you're in water and it's like, what are you doing here? Like it's curious. If it wants to figure out if it can eat you, it's gonna try and bite you and then realize that you're not what it usually eats. Just like a dog, like they'll sniff shit all the time and get curious, and then before you know it, they gulp it down. If they got sick, they'll throw it back up. We're- we gotta make common sense common. Exactly. Exactly. Yes, these observations are funny to me. If I had, I'm gonna fuck it up, but I'm not gonna provoke the fight. Yeah, you don't want to provoke it for sure. We're the most fragile creature compared to everything else. Yeah, we are. We're so fragile. Someone literally called the cops on me for removing their dry laundry from a dryer and carefully setting it on the table across from me. People are not making any damn sense. People are so sensitive. They're very sensitive. Humans don't even know how humans work. Yeah, we can barely even understand each other, let alone you can't even build a family with people easily. The one thing that the human species is supposed to be able to do is the one thing that the human species is shit at. I'm like, there's a whole fucking industry for helping the human species do the one thing they are naturally supposed to be good at. You cannot tell me that we are more intelligent than a fucking shark who's at the top of their food chain. Okay? You can't tell me about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Because we're no free drivers, so I could use one. These people are wild. Who calls the cops on that? People definitely have lost their minds that sensitive. Yeah, they are. So that's why it's just like, just we have to use common sense again. I was like, say what exactly? The cops are like, we're taking you in for touching someone's chonies. Earth is a reality show. I see it's a comedy though. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's so many like dogs that run around here, and I fucking love it because I'm like, they're the most well-adjusted dogs. I'm like, I want to run around with you. You seem so fun. They don't bother you. They just like get out of the way, or like this one dog likes to follow me home every other day. Just like, you're great. I'll see you later, Benji. It's not his name, but that's what I've been calling him. Like, I'll see you later. And then he just kind of wags his tail and then goes back the other way. And I'm like, thanks for the walk. Not even chonies. Just saying. Yes, I wanna run with the dogs, oh my gosh. Yeah, they're solid. They're I mean, the best part is they have packs, which dogs are supposed to have packs. They're not supposed to be with humans. They can be in their normal packs, and they don't bother you. Like, they do what they're supposed to do, and they bark at each other if one gets too close to their, like, family's house. They're, like, literally working dogs. Other than that, they're quiet. Like, they're just roaming, doing their thing, and I'm like, "This is fucking awesome." I it's so they just coexist, and there's cats that hang out, and the dogs don't fucking try and beat up the cats because they're like, it's a weird it's, like, so great. I love it. Like, the cats are just chilling out, and the dogs are hanging out. Food just smells great. Nothing eating my toes in the ocean. Like, it's awesome. Ants in my pants every once in a while. Sharks didn't even have to change drastically, they just got smaller. Yeah. See, that's just like, you can't even humans got bigger. But also, humans got larger, but I think it was, like, black men got shorter because of oppression, many things. Stray dogs mobbed together looks crazy, though, in real life. Sometimes. I mean, it doesn't look crazy to me, I think it looks cool, but yeah, I get what you're saying, it's kinda wild. Life is simple like that versus I have to prove myself and be slave to society or capitalism or however it goes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's just like you can just live. And then things are more affordable here. So I enjoy it. So it's like we don't have the same kind of stress. And people are outside more. People are outside more with community, like living. Like they're actually living and taking care of each other sometimes. Like it's like, gee, a foreign concept to the US. You just let's take off and be smarter. Yeah. Like use our fucking spidey senses. Use our spidey senses. It's just I don't know, it's just a beautiful way to live. But yeah, I like I just love the ocean. It's so curious. I drew this picture of these little things, and they look like at first I was like, they kind of look like furry nipples. And then I changed it and I was like, no, they look like furry coconuts. It's not done yet. Should I get you my furry nipple drawing? I literally did it in 2 seconds and it's not even done. Look at I was like, furry nipples or not furry nipples? But while I was swimming, I just like got fixated on these two things that were under the water. I'm gonna finish the background and I need my watercolor. Oh, that was the other thing. So hold on. Hold up. So, you know how like I paint the future, right? And we've talked about this before. So I was trying to figure out for the longest time what this was. It's my wall. It's my wall. I was like holding it and I was like, oh, that's what the yellow was. So I was like, what are these dry ass plants with yellow? But the wall is arched and it's yellow, and then there's these brown like palm trees. And I was like, that's what I was drawing. That's why everybody should follow their crafts. I'm catching up. Got any advice for dealing with folks making 0 cents? Seems to be going around these days exponentially. I mean, I wouldn't engage with them. That's the best advice. I feel like maybe Hawaii is not affordable, but that's like the main like tropical place I've been to consistently, but I'm down to different places. Yeah, I mean, and also if you're meant to go there, the money will come to you. So, right, like healing that part too. Um, yeah, exactly, where spirit leads you. It depends on where you're meant to go. Like I was meant to come here and spirit gave me the money to come here. And then I was supposed to meet these people here. And so it just kind of works out. If you're meant to go to Hawaii, spirit will give you the money to go there. Very nipple. They look great. Thanks. Yeah, they're so great. They were just like floating around in the water. I still need to do all the sand and all that stuff, but I was like, I'm enjoying these. Oh wait, you paint the future? Yeah, I paint the future. I don't know when you joined the channel, but so I have all these different watercolors and I draw the future and I also draw people's ancestors or someone who's connected to my energy that has a message to share. I was posting on TikTok for a little while, but then I stopped doing it. I think I might do it again. Um, and so I would draw something and then I would share it and then I would share like when it would come true. So, like, I did this, like, zoomed in one of peacock feathers, and it was, like, a peacock thing for Oshun, and then I drew this other big piece, like a swirl, like, sometimes it's just something that I see a glimpse of, and it was, like, my mom was eating this giant, grapefruit, and then the one back there that I brought, it was the countryside, and then I saw it when I was driving, when Spirit led me to go, like, buy my iPad, but go to this place, I was, like, in the countryside. So I'll, like, paint things, um, that I see in my mind's eye, and then it's the future. That's why I love painting and I love, scripting. In this case, like, I just draw where I just obviously, I what I saw in real time, but I will paint the future. Um, yeah, there was one time I drew a face, like a profile of their face and all these things, and then it was like the person standing in front of me in the line, but I'd written things about them. Like like I don't know, attributes, energies I could pick up. Yeah. Seeing eye. Yes, you do not engage, encourage them. Yeah, don't. That's true. I'll keep that in mind. Have you ever read, listened to Dolores Cannon channeling sessions? Okay, that's interesting because the same person the other night who I was in the car with like 4 a.m. named Sunshine, who's also a fairy, um, out of the blue was telling me about going diving in this story that I'm sharing on my Substack. And then also in the next breath was like, have you heard of Dolores Cannon? I'm like, why are so many people telling me about Dolores Cannon? Yes, I have, but I haven't listened to a lot of their channeling sessions. I wasn't sure if my energy would like it, but I'm clearly being pointed in that direction, so there I shall go. At Tanya, we put them on the man-made island on the Pacific and let them figure it out. Oh, this rationalized releasing on my protection of the water. I used to feel very vulnerable. Um, Trash Island. That's sad. That's also you channel awesome new channel artwork like that. Thanks. Yeah, I learned that I not only I channel it through everything. I also didn't realize it when I was writing certain parts of my book. Like I so when I was in Charlotte and I went to record um my book in the studio for Audible, as I was reading it, I was realizing that the things that were in my book that I had written down were things that were channeled for the future and that had happened, but I didn't realize it because I didn't read my book for like a certain span of time. And it really weirded me out. Um, and that's just my life. And, like, I didn't realize, like, how psychic I was and how most things I say are, like, a of a foretelling of the future, and then I was like, "Does it come out of everything?" And then I realized it comes out in my paintings, it comes out in my books, it comes out in these sessions, it comes out when I'm teaching, it comes out when I'm coaching, like, it's just a flow of um, the future. But yeah, it's quite interesting because sometimes I feel like people have to intentionally tap in, or it's not like that for me, it's just like it just is. That's why I'm like, I always think before I say something sometimes, depending on who I'm talking to, or if something blurts out of my mouth, I'm like, "Oh, cool." Or I'm like, "That's exciting." I think it matters where you are in your awakening journey too, if they can sound wild or just more factual. Same with other channelings. Yeah, exactly. I'd watch a lot of stuff like that to wake myself up. I am awake now, so I just see what resonates with me energetically. When I hear channelings, I feel it in my tummy, mainly if it resonates or not. I can read people without much effort. Yeah, it's a gift many people can do. It's really helpful. I do that with Dreamsy. Yeah, everybody can do it just to like it sometimes people channel it in different places. And you have a very strong like dreamscape in mind and that kind of stuff. Um and like the dream space is so cool because you can really let go in there and just see things and interact with stuff. Um, it's a great place to start talking to your guides. That's what I do sometimes. Um, since I've been here, my dreams have been bananas, just so bananas. But I'm not doing any like certain dream stuff I would usually do because I'm trying to figure out how the energy of this land works. And I feel like a lot of people go places and they like don't tap into the land or the energy. Like I know I'm here for a reason, and even this house, like my friend, she came in and she was like, "Ah, do you know what's in your house?" I'm like freaked out. All these things and all this spiritual stuff I didn't notice at first. And I was like, "Oh, makes sense why I'm here." Um, so sometimes you gotta just be intentional about your energy and reading and why you're in certain places. But sometimes people get very consumed in being selfish, like oh me or my, this happens to blah blah blah. But it's like if you're a true light warrior and a healer, you realize every place you go and everything you do is not just for you. Like I know being here is there's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I'm meeting these people. There's a reason why I'm in this physical house. There's a reason why I meet these like masculines, and the reason why I have the protection from them that I do and, like, get the healing that I do, it, like, helps me grow so I can help more people, and there's a reason why I'm on this land so that I can understand it, um, and then you just kinda get used to that energy. I've had a guide or ancestor come to me in my dream with the bluest eyes I've ever seen and long blonde hair. When she asked me what I want, it's hella vivid. Yeah, you should keep talking to them. But I never thought about other things I might have done with this and didn't know it. Yeah. Yeah, try to explore your gifts. It's important to explore so you know what you can do and what they're here for. I know that sometimes it's hard, especially if, if anyone's experiencing hardship, like once you start opening your gifts, you immediately get into this energy of like, oh, how can I use my gifts to make money and all these things. But like our gifts are more than that. There's so much more than that. There's so much healing in them and they come from spirit. And like if every day you woke up and you knew that God had gifted you with so many gifts, would you just want to stay at home and keep them for yourself? I wouldn't. Why would I do that? Why would I just focus on profit? If I knew that I had the gift of healing, even in the way that I speak, why wouldn't I be speaking all the time? Same thing with tarot, podcasting, drawing, singing, acting. I used to tell people that other people didn't believe I said I was a male. Mary Poppins. I go where God sends me. Yeah, I've been thinking I was want to practice with people. I might do it. I first some free lessons in exchange for some reviews and charge or start with charging. It's completely up to you. It's completely up to you. Whatever goes with your energy. You can try free sessions, see where your energy's at with money and see how you feel in the sessions. And then you can charge for them afterwards. But I would look at it more so how can you help people? Oh my God. Mary Poppins. I really want more than just material. Yeah, then stop, like when people want more than just the material, then you have to stop focusing on material. Like you have to obviously you have your tasks that you have to do. You have to find avenues or allow the universe to show you avenues to make money so that you can survive, but you can thrive and live. But your connection to spirit is what keeps the money coming because spirit, if you're there to be of assistance to the divine, the money will always be there. But you have to get used to not being greedy. You have to get used to not being greedy. But if you're constantly focusing on your physical realm, like it's not gonna help you. It's not gonna help you whatsoever. Yeah, that's how I was in the beginning. Only saw the gifts as a way to make money and tried forcing my way, and I realized it's much more than that. Yeah, they're not for just for us. We can use it to talk to each other, but our gifts are for healing people. That's why whenever I see people who talk about their gifts and being a light worker and being a healing person, but they're so stuck in their ego and they're concerned about money, like they don't understand. They don't understand God. They don't understand. They wouldn't talk about people in a certain way. Like they wouldn't use their creativity in the way that they do. It's not for us. I'm gonna keep practicing tarot and stuff on myself too. I'm building confidence and want to practice with others. Yay! You're welcome to practice on me. I made Mia do it last time. Yeah, I'll see where I'm at with energy wise. However, I can be of service and be in alignment. Yeah. Just practice, do a couple free ones, give some away, and then see how you feel. Maisie, can you offer some advice on how to stay calm during clairvoyant experiences? Like how you see some come towards you in a white cloak. I mean, I slammed the door and locked myself in. Yeah, I mean, you have to heal the fear within you before you even do anything. So I mean, it just like you being nervous of that just means that you have a fear of the unknown. Um, so you have to continue to heal the parts of yourself that feel fearful of what you might see. Because if you feel fear when you see someone come towards you in a cloak, it's because your brain is making you assume that something's going to hurt you, which means you have something in you that is telling you you're going to get hurt and it's attached to some sort of memory. So get to that memory and you won't be scared anymore. You won't be scared of it anymore. People come fly towards me all the time, but in the beginning, it was like that. And you will get scared because you don't understand it. But you have to also practice your ability to understand that you're not helpless in those moments and that if you choose to send it away, it will go away. Um, it's just getting really comfortable with your ability to help yourself in the spiritual realm and letting go of what fear is. And the most important thing too is understanding that you are going into a realm that you know nothing about. Um, and so you have to accept, whoa, you have to accept that you are going to see things that you don't understand, but there's no reason to be fearful of them. They haven't given you a reason to be fearful of them. So what are you fearing? So ask yourself that. What did I feel? It's just something coming towards me. Why am I scared of it? Eventually got way too hungry and FaceTime music. Have y'all seen Man in the Dark by Master? Yeah, I love Leonardo DiCaprio. Resonates so much. It made me cry, even I don't know why, but Felipe ended up being king and would have been content living on a farm. Psh, living on a farm would be ideal. I was literally thinking about I was I was like, okay, when I am on the farm, how many railroad spikes I'm gonna need? I'm gonna need a whole butt ton. I was just like, I'm gonna need a big old cauldron so I can like get everything together. I'm gonna need some horses because I'm gonna be way on the other side, hammering in all this stuff. Yeah, sometimes you're being content doesn't always look the way you think. That's how I feel here. Like a lot of people enjoy being in the city and all this stuff, but like I enjoy the quiet here. And I enjoy walking around with these dogs. And I enjoy people don't bother you, even if I gotta walk really far to get water. All these things. And like it's a peaceful life. Yes, I'd love to practice tarot on UZ. Yay! That would be so fun. Let's do it. If anyone else is down, please let me know. Look, Elle's putting herself out there. Elle, get a booking link and send it in the chat and see if anybody wants a free reading so you can practice. Um, these are great questions, everybody. I'm gonna get going in like 2 minutes so I can take a break before tonight's class. Let me see if I missed anything. That's a cute doohickey. That's a good idea. I'll do that for next time, hopefully. Uh, what is I'll do that for next time, hopefully? You'll do it next time. Just get your link ready. You're putting yourself out there. You can do it. Or just have people just book times with people, put on the Google Calendar for yourself. Yeah, none of this, hopefully, maybe, step into it. Just say, "Is anybody" just write it in the chat. Write in the chat, just be like, "Hey, does anybody want a free tarot, like, a free 10-minute tarot reading or something?" They're all here mostly, and then they'll be like, "Yes, no," and then you can ask them what times work. Oh, my phone battery went out. Did I miss the Brujería? The Brujería was in the beginning of the live. It was at the beginning of the live. But yeah. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna head out. Good talk. I'm gonna go talk to Dolores Cannon. Oh, I shouldn't say things like that. Great job, everyone. Tomorrow, obviously, make sure you read Substack and vote. Why I do the same thing automatic trying to write in the future. I have a huge piece of artwork that I created. My husband passing away, and a year later he was gone. Oh, yeah, it's a powerful gift. See you tonight. Yes, I'll see you all tonight. Whoever's going to be there. Tonight's going to be fun. We're going over claircognizance and we're also doing full moon stuff. I'm really excited. Um, I will see you tonight. Great job. Don't forget about Substack before tomorrow. It's called The Black Eyed Dom Daddy if you haven't read it. And tomorrow is self-love day for the art of love and magnetism. I'm super excited about, and we're going over sacred sensuality and also healing all sorts of things in that class. The energy is very expansive in that class. So goodbye, everybody. I'll talk to you later. See you soon.